You like me, not my daughter? Chapter 3. What would happen if someone were to confess to you saying, I love you, please go out with me, and later said, you don't have to give me an answer right now? In that case, well, I think most people wouldn't see each other for a while. I feel it wouldn't be right to be near that person until you gave them an answer, and above all, it would be awkward. It's sort of an etiquette standard for the confessed person to avoid the other as much as possible until they have a clear answer. However, in our world, nothing works the way we want it to. When the person that confessed to you is someone you see on a daily basis, you have to continue your daily life feeling awkward and tense. This applies to me and Takun. After all, we're neighbors. And whatever answer I give to his confession, we'll keep meeting each other a lot more in the future. That's without saying that Takun comes every day to pick up my daughter, and I asked him to tutor her myself. And today, Takun will come to tutor me. Ding dong! Around 5 p.m., a little before the agreed time, the doorbell rang. I'll be right there, I answered from the shower. When I was cleaning the bathroom, I made a mistake changing the shower head and ended up getting soaked. Since I was dirty, I decided to take a shower. No way he's here already. I thought I would be done before he arrived, but why did he come a little earlier on a day like this? A familiar voice came from the front door saying, Is someone home? It was Takun's. Mui, I can't go out right now, so can you open the door for me? That's right. She went out. A moment ago she said, I'm going to the store, and left. Why am I so unlucky? I closed the shower and started thinking again. What should I do? I shouldn't make him wait too long, but it's embarrassing to come out in just a towel. Now that I think about it, I had a feeling of déjà vu, as if this had happened before. About a year ago, I was taking a shower the moment Takun came to the house. What did I do at that time? About a year ago. Yes, just a minute. Welcome, Takun. Hello, Ayako-san? What are you wearing? Sorry for coming out like this. I was taking a shower. That's no good. You only have a towel on you. Please dress up properly. My Takun, why are you so embarrassed? Could it be that you got excited? No. I was just kidding. Obviously, a youngster like you would have no interest in the naked body of an old lady like me. Well, Takun, it would be embarrassing if the neighbors saw me like this, so I'd appreciate if you could close the door, please. I'm so sorry. Yes, that's right. A year ago, I wasn't so nervous about it and I acted like I always did. In that case, today I must act like I always do. It's the same situation as before. If I react a different way, then if I wear clothes on purpose, it's like showing him that I'm being conscious of him, as if I started to see him as a man after this confession. So, I know what I must do. Once I made up my mind, I took a towel. Welcome. Hello? I opened the door and greeted him with a shaky voice. Takun immediately raised his voice in surprise. Ayako-san, what are you wearing? He reacted the same way he did last time. He was blushing hard. Yes, his reaction hasn't changed at all. The one that's changed is mine. I'm sorry, I was taking a shower. That's why I look like this. My nerves and embarrassment made my voice sound abnormally high. I tried to act the same way as last year, but I guess I couldn't. Huh? Why? Why can't I? Why am I so embarrassed? Well, I only have a towel on me. Of course, it would be embarrassing because under the towel, I'm completely naked. A year ago, I was a little embarrassed, but the embarrassment I felt right now couldn't be compared with last year's. My entire body was hot, and my head seemed to be about to burst in flames. I couldn't look directly at Takun. This is bad. Really bad. It's completely different from last year. Now I'm the one that is completely conscious of him as a man. Now that I know how he sees me, I'm too embarrassed to stand in front of him like this. Maybe it was a mistake after all. Yes, it doesn't matter how he sees me. This was a complete mistake. What the hell am I doing? I look like a complete pervert. Could it be that this time I'm doing something extremely embarrassing for my age? You can't do that, Ayako-san. Even if you were taking a shower, a woman shouldn't open the front door like that. While I was in shock for not even wearing panties, Takun scolded me. What would have happened if instead of me, a strange man was behind the door and he attacked you? That's impossible. You worry too much, Tycoon. A young girl like me is one thing, but no one would throw themselves over an old lady like me. That's not true, Tycoon insisted, interrupting my self-deprecation. He closed the door behind him and continued with a calm tone. Ayako-san, you're not an old lady. You're a very beautiful and attractive woman. At the very least, there's one man here that's very excited and wants to attack you. Huh? Jeez, what are you saying now? I'm sorry, but I can't help it, you know? When the woman I love is standing right in front of me looking like that. That you love? Tycoon stared straight into me with embarrassed, yet serious eyes. If you look at me with those eyes, I won't know what to do anymore. My head is boiling so much from embarrassment that I'm about to go crazy. In any case, I don't think you should open the door like that anymore. I know, it's not like I opened the door like that to everyone. I knew it was you. That's why... Huh? I didn't mean it that way. It's not like I had the intention of appealing to you with a lewd appearance. Yeah, I know that. We were both so nervous and embarrassed. We were blushing so much that it was as if the temperature in the doorway went up considerably. What am I doing? Due to my own pride and stubbornness, I opened the door without panties and was scolded by a much younger man than me. As an adult, I was extremely embarrassed. I'm home! To make things worse, Mui, who had gone to the store, had come back. She had a plastic bag with ice cream in her hand. Takuni, you're here already? Mom! What's with that look? Well, it's not what you think. This is... I tried to find an excuse, but Mui smiled mischievously. I didn't know that you had gone so far already. Then I'll go back to my room first. Take your time with the tutoring session, although I wouldn't mind if there were no lessons today. What? Me? I desperately screamed at her for help, but she simply ignored me and hurriedly went up to her room to the second floor. What do I do? That girl has a weird misunderstanding now. No, I think it's the opposite. She understood the situation perfectly and did that on purpose. I see. I breathed a sigh of relief. Well, to be honest, I couldn't really feel relieved at all. My daughter saw me in this attire and teased me before running away. I failed as a mother. Ayako-san, did you perhaps tell Mui? I didn't tell her anything, but somehow she found out, as if she knew from the start. I see. Well, I'm like an open book after all, said Takun, smiling. Like an open book? Then how blind am I if I can't read you at all? Takun, listen, I said, clearing my throat. I tried to keep my tone and behavior as calm and collected as possible. Since you came so early, could you give me a bit of your time before Miu's lesson? Time? I'd like to talk with you a little, I said. Just the two of us. A serious conversation. Looking like that? After I dress up, I replied and ran away. At that moment, I felt an unnecessarily cold breeze under my feet. What the hell happened to being calm and collected? Takun, you prefer black coffee, right? Yes. After dressing up appropriately, I prepared a few drinks in the Dose Gusto. After that, I sat in front of him in the living room table. Takun looked a bit nervous. No wonder, though. The woman who he just confessed to the day before had said she wanted to talk to him, and now we were sitting in front of each other by ourselves. His nervousness got me nervous, too. For starters, let me see if I understood everything then. I made up my mind and talked into a sense of atmosphere. Takun, well, I love me, right? Why are you suddenly saying that? Takun timidly covered his mouth with his hand. It looked like he did that on reflex when he was embarrassed. I learned something new today. I've known him for 10 years, but there are some things I still don't know about him. I had no idea. I never realized until now. What face did he make when he confessed? That's right, I love you, he said, extremely embarrassed, but looking straight at me in the eyes. And when he did, he shyly covered his mouth again. Please, don't make me say it again. I'm sorry, well, just one more thing, I continued, stammering. What exactly is it that you want to do? What exactly? I understand the fact that you love me, but I was wondering if you had thought about what comes after. Well, Takun hesitated for a moment, but then he looked at me seriously. I want to have a serious relationship with you, and of course get married in the future. Get married? He said it so unexpectedly and without hesitation that I couldn't help but be surprised. What are you saying now, Takun? I'm sorry, you're right. It's not really convincing for a university student like me to talk about marriage. No, it's not that. I wasn't talking about that. I wasn't really thinking of the belief that you can't talk about marriage when you're still living under your parents' care. Takun, listen, I'm 10 years older than you. I know. Moreover, I have Mui. I'm a single mother with a child. Yes, I also know that. That's why, if you would allow me, I'd like to raise Mui as my own daughter with you in the future. I'd like the three of us to be a happy family. That's why I wanted to confess after getting a job. I was speechless. The more I heard him, the more serious I realized he was. His confession may have been on a whim, but he was more serious about his future with me than I expected. His seriousness and honesty made my heart beat faster. I couldn't help but feel loved as a woman. Jeez, what's this? What's wrong with him? How can he say such embarrassing things? How can he love me so much? He's always been thinking about a future with me. Wait a minute. Always? Hey, Takun, I've been wondering about this for a while, but since when have you been in love with me? Since when? About 10 years ago. Wait, 10 years ago, you say? My eyes opened wide in surprise. 10 years ago? You were only 10 years old at the time. Yes. You've loved me since then? Yes, that's right. I was dumbstruck. So, in other words, Takun has been in love with me for the last 10 years. It's way too long. 10 years? Takun was only 10. That cute little boy, he's always seen me as a woman he's interested in? 10 years? What? 10 years was when we first met. It was 10 years ago when I started taking care of Mui and living in this house. It was by then that I met Takun. Well, it was love at first sight, with a shy look on his face. Takun said something extremely embarrassing. Stop it already. My heart can't take it anymore. I can't handle this sweet atmosphere. When I first saw you, I thought you were really beautiful. And when we bathed together, when we took a bath together, I inadvertently interrupted his story. When we took a bath together, that's right. I took a bath with Takun once. We got wet from the rain, so I was the one who suggested it. And of course, since we were going to take a bath, we were completely naked. Wait a moment, Takun. Don't tell me you saw me that way since then. That way? That you saw me as a woman. Well, Takun hesitated to answer. That reaction was clearer than any answer he could have given me. My embarrassment blew up instantly, and my entire body started to heat up. That has to be a lie. I didn't worry about it at the time, and everything was exposed. My breast, my ass, and... Oh, no, you're so cruel, Takun. What? That wasn't my fault. You were the one who entered without prior notice. I tried to get out of the bathroom immediately, but you didn't let me and forcibly bathed me. What? Please stop. You make it sound like I wanted to do something strange to you. I never said that. I didn't do anything wrong. You were just a little boy to me at the time. After all, your dick was a little, and you were hairless down there. Please don't remember that. That's embarrassing. I'm more embarrassed than you are. You hadn't grown up yet. On the other hand, I was an adult already. I can't believe you saw everything. What did I do at that time? I think I washed his body. Then I was going to the bathtub and went over him with my legs. Oh, so embarrassing. Please don't be so down. My embarrassment was close to becoming desperation, and Takun tried to cheer me up. Don't worry. Although I did look, I was only a 10-year-old at that time, so I was almost always just looking at your breasts. And how's that supposed to make me feel better? I answered back strongly. I wanted to go lock myself in my room and cry, but I got myself together and drank from a cup. I drank the coffee, which was starting to become lukewarm, embarrassed. And after drinking the entire cup, sorry for losing my cool there, I said, trying to change the mood. Calm down. Takun is not guilty of anything. Everything is my fault for treating him like a kid and forcing him to take a bath with me. Right now, I understand the situation, and I can also see that you're completely serious about this. When I said that, relief showed on his face instantly, and I felt a stinging pain in my chest. Suppressing that pain desperately, I added, "But I can't be with you." I said it loud and clear. I had to. Takun immediately tensed up, and his eyes were filled with sadness. My chest started to hurt again when I saw him like that, but I kept going. I ignored my heart and wore a mask. I'm happy that you feel that way about me, Takun. I'm also sorry that you fell in love with someone like me, but please understand, It would be completely devoid of common sense for us to start dating. Common sense? Takun, who had his head down in deep desperation, suddenly got up. What common sense? Huh? What do you mean it's devoid of common sense? Well, you know, common sense. You know what I mean. I have no clue what you mean. Takun leaned forward. His eyes were shaking, but they were showed an unbreakable spirit. That you dislike it. That you can't imagine having a relationship with a student, or that you're already in love with someone else. That would be a shame, but I can understand that. But I can't accept your reason being common sense. But it's impossible. The age gap between us is too large. As long as there's love, age doesn't matter. You said that yourself. I may have said that, but only because I thought you liked Mui. I never thought things would end up like this. But if you look at it from a realistic point of view, it's impossible. First, you talk about common sense. Now being a realist? Anyways, it's impossible either way, I said strongly, and took a deep breath. Calm down. Don't get too emotional. We have to settle things properly. Takun, it's not that simple. Love and marriage are not just about the two of us. There are things like jobs and other people's opinions. Also, your parents. My parents? Yes. I don't think your parents would be happy if you got married to someone like me. A 30-year-old woman that already has a daughter, I continued. As you know, Mui and I both owe a lot to your parents. When I started living in this house, your parents did a lot for me. It was my first time raising a child, and I didn't know what to do yet. They came to my rescue time and time again. I had to ask the Atarazawa family to take care of Mui a lot of times when I had to work weekends, and I couldn't be absent. When she had a sudden fever at her daycare in elementary school, I asked them to pick her up instead. From then, I learned everything I needed to enroll her into elementary and middle school, about the neighbors association, the neighbors meetings, and also where the cheapest supermarkets and nearest gyms were. They helped me a lot. I think I trusted them more than my own parents. Without their help, I wouldn't have been able to raise Mui. I am extremely thankful to your parents and have a debt to them that I will never be able to pay back. That's why, please understand, you're the precious son of the Atarazawa family to which I owe so much. It's unlikely that your parents would be okay with a young man like you going out with an old woman like me, who is a daughter. I can't spit on their generosity like that. Yeah, that may be true, Takun nodded, while thinking about something. I'd like to refuse the thought of not getting married for the sake of my parents, but that's a train of thought of a naive kid. Marriage doesn't concern two people only. Besides, I really value my parents and I don't want to disappoint them. So, you do get it. Well then, but don't worry. I knew you would worry about things like that. When I was about to breathe a sigh of relief, Takun clenched his fist and said, That's why I discussed this with my parents beforehand. Huh?